And that whilst your purpose
that you've signed up to
your
and we share together is to be your best in all you do.
And greatness can only be measured by the difference between before you showed up and after you showed up. If I look at the number of people whose lives have been transformed by your voice, that's how we measure your greatness.
Okay. Next slide, please. I'm on the second slide. Okay, fantastic. So number one, for you to play global, you've gone too far. Go back, please. I'm on number one. Go back. Deploy. That's it. Thank you. Deploy the same position across the brand cathedrals globally. What does that mean? At every touch point, you must remain consistent. Same positioning, your same strap line, same content, same taglines, same colors, same brand identity. For you to be able to play on a global scale, you must understand that the same positioning you portray in Nigeria must be the same you portray in Europe, in America, because you are one brand. Look at the Coca-Cola brand, for instance. If you go to America, it's the same bottle. If you go to Europe, it's the same. You go to Asia, the same swoosh is still there. Now, what are the benefits? What are the benefits of having a single-minded positioning across all your brand cathedrals? Don't forget, you're trying to play global. You're not just playing on a local platform. You're not playing local. I want to use the word. I want to change the word from global to glocal. Playing operating from a local point of view, which is Nigeria, but with a focus on a global market. That is glocal, G-L-O-C-A-L, glocal. Now, what are the benefits? One, it gives you a laser focus on a specific target of markets. It gives you a laser, you know what? Laser focus on a specific target market, because once you are focused and consistent, you now focus on your specific targets. You don't sell to everybody. You're not all things to all men. You have a specific target. And what that does for you, it conserves your economy, your resources. Number two, differentiation from the competition. Once you are positioned this way and you're consistent, it differentiates you automatically from the competition, because they see consistency and discipline in all your cathedrals, at all your touch points. Yes, from Naomi Osemudia, not all things to all men, yes. In the Bible, Jesus Christ asked the disciples, who do they say I am? He wanted to know what they thought about him. Your brand is not what you say you are. Your brand is what people say you are when you're not in the room. Have you ever been given a brief before that you never worked for? Someone just calls you up and says, we're having a discussion, and we asked, who do we call? 3 people said, call FD, call Charles, or call Simi, or call Tara. Differentiation positions you above your competition. Once you have retained consistency and you have positioned yourself across all your cathedrals, it differentiates you from your competition. Thirdly, it creates clarity and focus on the problems you solve. It makes you focus. Clarity creates clarity, because once you position yourself in a way that you're consistent, you have clarity and focus. That's one of the benefits. Now, why do you need clarity and focus? Because we live in a world that is already in chaos. Too much distraction, too much communication. If you're trying to even open your online Bible, you see all those ads scrolling on at the bottom. We are already bombarded with too much information. Every global brand that wants to play on the global, every brand that wants to play on the global scale must have clarity and focus, or else they'll get distracted. So for you to play on that scale, what you require based on standardization and positioning will give you clarity and focus. D, enhanced understanding of a customer's challenges. Because you are focused and you define your brand, you are well positioned to understand what your clients are going through and what the challenges are in getting in touch with your brand when they come in contact with your product or your brand. A lot of brands die and they don't go beyond the local level because they've lost the global vision. They play local. Meanwhile, we're all born to play on the global scale, not local. Your passport does not say you're limited to Lagos or Ibadan or Nigeria. No, it's an international passport. That's why it's called international passport. It gives you access to anywhere. Just go get your visa. But our challenge is that we don't look on the global scale. We play local. We look at the competition around us and we look at all we see, and that's all we are satisfied with. Most brands are not doing well because they localize their thinking, localize their vision, localize their ambition, and then they lack the hunger to go beyond the locality. Meanwhile, you have everything you need, including the Internet of Things, that gives you a global view, okay? Now, E, increases your memorability within the market. Once you are well positioned, the market remembers you. Once you are well positioned, the market remembers you because you are not in the league of other people. You have set yourself apart. I want to use the word set apart. Top of the mind recall comes to bear here. What do they remember when they remember your category? If you mention speakers in Africa, if you mention brand in Africa, if you mention car manufacturers, if you mention soft drinks, if you mention salt production, if you mention rice production, what are the names that come to your mind? Top of the mind recall comes to bear here because when people are deciding how to buy, you might not be there to defend yourself or to pitch because most of those pitches are done in private. So they ask themselves questions at that level. Who do we call? Shortlist 3. If they are asked to shortlist 3 people today on any platform or any of these subcategories, would your name be mentioned? Let me give you guys a challenge now. Let's pause. All of you on this platform, if there was supposed to be a pitch today, this night, and we're meant to mention, shortlist only 3 names. Be honest with yourself. And I want you guys to answer honestly, so I'll know where we have issues. If we're asked now to shortlist 3 people in any category, confess to yourself honestly, will your name be in that first 3? Let me see your hands. If your name will be in the top 3, let me see. Okay, that's 1. I'm seeing 1 up. 1 has come up. I'm seeing only 1. I want to see more hands. Okay, I'm hoping so. Hope is the hope for the future, not for the present. Okay, awesome. Fantastic. I'm encouraged to move on now. All right. Don't forget I said earlier, I said increase memorability. Would they remember? Once you have positioned yourself in the market, it creates memorability for you within your market. And guess what? Even beyond your market, it goes beyond your market. Because what we have what we call hopping fences and branding, where you overlap other categories. So if you are, for instance, an intellectual person, you could be called to speak in a church, called to speak in a school, called to speak in a hospital. So there are some categories in terms of profession that hop the fences. So would you be memorable in your market and beyond? F, brand storyteller message that resonates. What it does for you and the benefits that they can relate to your story. Because once you're well positioned, they can remember you based on your storytelling. Oh, that guy, that man, that brand that uses black, or that brand that wears only black, or that brand that does this, or that brand that uses white. It's all about your storytelling and messaging. It helps it to resonate in the minds of your consumers long term. G, clarity of vision for brand direction. It creates clarity. Once you are well positioned for the global market, you get clarity. And then finally, increase relevance in your niche. Don't forget, you are not trying to be all things to all men. You must define your niche. What is your niche? What is your market? Once you are well positioned, automatically, and you're positioned for a global scale, it gives you a niche and relevance in your own market. And that niche is what differentiates you from any other brand. If you look at the first point I made in terms of benefits, laser focus. Don't forget, laser focus. So if you want to go global and play from the global point of view, positioning will give you laser focus. And laser focus is critical for you to move to the next level. Point number 2, my second key, I want to do it quickly. You need to focus on a single product category. Focus on one category. For instance, the challenge all of us have is that we want to play in every sector. You want to be here, you want to be here, you want to be here. If things are not moving in one sector, you want to hop to the other side. No. For you to go global, you must focus on one single category. That is the only way you can become an authority in that area. You can't be an authority when you're hopping from one industry to the next industry. 1 minute you're a banker, next minute you're a doctor, next minute you're a shoemaker. No. You need to have a focus on one single category. What is your category? Now I'm not talking about even from your career-wise now. How about the products you offer? The products you're offering, your products. You must offer a single category in terms of product. That way, people respect you. They know you represent something. They know you stand for something. Now, when you succeed in that area, you can create a sub-brand and move into another subsector based on your proficiency and expertise. You can't be a master of all, I mean, jack of all trade and master of none. You must be a jack of one trade and master of one. Jack of one trade, master of one. When you master that one, you can now expand your focus beyond that category and go global. But don't forget, focus on one single category. What does it do? Focus on covers what your customers really want. Because at the end of the day, as you're putting your offerings on that table, don't forget, some of your targets will get disgruntled. They might say or they might have different opinions about your offering. Now, how do you ensure that they get satisfied if you keep on shifting? When you stay focused on one single category, you uncover what they really want and you meet their needs. Don't forget, they say practice makes perfect. It's not a mistake. Practice makes perfect. The more you do something, the more you service an area, the more you uncover the hidden truths about that area. So the more you consistently stay in that product category, you become better at it in terms of from touch point to delivery point, okay? Your brand needs to react to its customer base rather than hoping that your customer base will react to you. Now, this is what you get. For instance, Intel. Look at GT Bank. GT is now GTCO. They didn't change the orange. They retained the orange. I was privy to working with that brand when they wanted to do public offer. We've retained that orange window till today. The GT now GTCO. There was a 10, 15, 20-year plan. They did not decide to remove the orange and make it blue, like First Bank, or change it to lilac, like some other banks, or like Wema. They remained consistent. That's one brand that from the day they started till today, they've retained the brand identity, and that's focus. Focus. They did not decide to set up a merchant bank. No, they stayed as GT. Focus on a single product category. You need to focus so that you can become proficient and become an expert, get the expertise required to become an authority in that sector. Otherwise, you cannot go global. You are going to play local. My third point. Invest in your brand identity and ensure discipline. I spoke about this during the FD at 50. One of my most lethal points in branding. If you get this right, you get everything right. You get this right, invest in the brand identity and ensure discipline, DFC. Discipline, focus, consistency. And you see again, we're using GT. GT is the only local Nigerian brand that is among all these three brands. This is General Electric, it's a global brand. GTB is now amongst them, and then we have IBM. GT is in the middle of them. And now just see how consistent GTB has been. Now, investing in your brand can bring similar returns. If you consistently invest in your brand identity, what is your brand identity? What's your brand ID? Your brand ID is not your advertising. It's what differentiates you from your third party, from any other third party brand. Your brand ID, your brand identity, that thing, that symbol that represents your values. My symbol is a shield with the C and the O in it. It's on your screen there at the bottom. It's been consistently there on all my art materials for the past 15 years. It hasn't changed. Neither has it evolved because it took me and my team 3 years to arrive at this. And I told them, once we get it right, we will never change it. Okay, so you need to invest in your brand identity and ensure discipline. Why? Because most of these brands, your consumers today, they get easily distracted by distortion. If you're not consistent in your brand identity, you will lose your market to somebody else, especially those that come to do pass-off. We have a lot of people that come around to create what we call pass-off brands. We have a lot of brands playing on blue like First Bank. Look at the market. How many brands in the banking category are playing on orange right now? Check it out. Because you know why they are not doing it that easily? Because that color, it took them almost 3 years to arrive at that orange. that orange is not a normal orange. It's a mixture of different Pantones, and they have to take their time to get it right. So even if you want to copy it, you can never get it right away because they have over-patented it. Over-patented that even when you want to copy, you are only passing off. Everybody knows orange belongs now to GT Bank, but blue does not belong to any bank. Look around the banking sector. No other bank has claimed a brand identity color and Pantone like GT Bank. None. In the Nigerian financial service sector. Investing in your brand can bring similar returns. When you have a brand to back what your business provides, your brand image can give your marketing campaigns, products, and other business endeavors instant validation. Once you are consistent, you are focused, you are disciplined, automatically what you get is validation, long-term. So GT Bank removes GTB and puts GTCO. Nobody's questioning, no questions, because they not take away the orange. And already at the back of our minds, top of our mind recall, when we see orange, we already see GT Bank. We already see GT. So I never ask, is it a new bank? No. Or has anybody here, please let me ask a question. If you've seen the GTCO, have you ever wondered it's a new bank? Has anybody ever wondered? Any hands up? Exact, that's one. Any other person? That's two. Is it not Temi Ajibewe? Is this Temi here? Is Temi Ajibewe in this hall? In this platform? I just saw Temi Ajibewe's name just now. Okay. Oh, okay. How are you doing? Good to see you. Okay, let's move on. Everybody's special, okay? Just as Temi came for one of my sessions and I remember her. She won $1,000 in that session. Once again, congratulations, Temi. Okay, let's move on. Okay. A high quality brand can also bring you better customers. So once you invest your brand identity and consistent, what you get is a premium clientele base. Because what it does, it separates you. It gives you a premium clientele base. I'm still on number 3.3. So I'm moving to point. Okay, yeah, thank you. So what it does for you, it creates a high quality brand that can also give you what we call premium customers. Now, at that point, your customers will find it difficult negotiating your pricing. I'm sure this is what everybody would like to hear and hear. It helps you to create premium pricing, because once you are consistent in terms of your brand identity, it separates you. Now, it gives you premium positioning. That way you earn higher, you work less and smarter, okay? Number 4, to play global, you must develop a well-thought-out access to global market. Now, the processes through which you go into a local market is different from the processes through which you go through to a global market. So you must understand the intricacies. The intricacies are very, very totally different. So you need to develop a well-thought-out access. So if I ask yourself, what are the rules and regulations that define entering America, the market, or Europe, or Asia? Those rules are different from the rules that affect coming to Nigerian market. So you must understand and then develop a well-thought-out access. And that means you must have a strategy. You can't play in a local market when you're still playing locally, mentally. So you need to understand that to elevate, to go to the next level, you must understand the processes. So have you ever thought about it? If you want to go to play in UK, what are the processes? The initial capital deposit required, the process, the papers, the approvals. Does it take longer or shorter? What kind of lawyers do you need? Are they the small lawyers, the bigger lawyers? Those processes take time. So you must understand what are the processes, and you must ensure that it's well thought out. Don't forget. Also, the approach to that market must also be different. Your strategy can't be the same with the local market. A typical Nigerian person can understand watching a TV commercial in Pidgin. A typical white man will not understand what that means. It has to be don't forget, you are going to play on a global market scale. So you need to understand all the intricacies beyond even the processes to get into the market. You must understand the communication patterns, the platform. When you start thinking globally, you need to also understand that those markets, once you try to enter those markets, they also open up big opportunities for you beyond the market here. So are you ready to play on the global market scale? If you want to, you need to start looking at the processes. Don't forget, like I said earlier on, the processes are different. So if you want to play on the global scale, you must understand the processes and define them from this Nigerian point of view to that market, and understand the legalities, the laws and the processes, and ensure that you become a bit of an authority in that process, or else stay here and get your acts together. My next slide, please. Oh, one of the best ways to get into the global market is through social responsibility. Now, you know, the beauty of giving is that it always gives back. When I do my giving, I don't want anything in return. I do because I want to give it. But most of the time, you have to understand that once you give, it always comes back automatically, especially when your heart is based on just to give, you know. So for me, it has been proven over the years that when you give, social responsibility opens doors globally. So one of the ways to cut into that global market is through social responsibility at any level, be it in Ogbomoso, Ibadan. As long as you do it, Benedicta says, be a radical giver. Nestle globally plays on clean water. That's why you notice they provide also water, bottled water and stuff. So, and they have different flavors globally. Now you see, when you play on water, if you notice something, Nestle is providing bottled water at a price, but also they're also donating part of the proceeds from the sale of their water to providing clean water on a global scale. Now, if you want to create a CSR platform, ensure that that CSR platform is a synergy with your brand offering. Don't be in the business of producing perfumes and you're going to supply, you're doing a CSR that has to do with shoes. No. If you are into the business of speaking or provision of knowledge, your CSR has to be in an area that is in synergy with what you are offering. So ensure that there's synergy between what you are offering and then what you are giving. That way you can reap a bit of the benefits from your giving. 60% of people surveyed in the Nielsen Global Survey of corporate social responsibility prefer to work, listen to this, prefer to work for companies that prioritize corporate responsibility. Can you imagine? Most people prefer to work with companies that prioritize giving. Somebody said, be a radical giver. So if you want to play into that global market, go into SCSR, then amplify it, but amplify it in a way that is decent. Don't be the giver that gives and brings all the cameras. You have to, let's say to the smart, say to the wise, be wise. There's a way you're going to give and you'll also be decent. There's a bit of decency in giving. Okay, so be careful how you give. CSR is good, but when your CSR is selfish, when your CSR is not based on the intent or a pure heart of just giving, there must be decency in your giving. Don't be outrageously loud. Don't go and bury your mother with 50 billion and put it all over the social media. I'm not mentioning names. Let's be decent, okay? No names. Somebody said when the motive and motivation are right. Exactly. Thank you. Decency in giving. Meyi and Asanga said that, okay? By embracing that, the corporation can attract the best employees and keep them, making the business stronger. A brand is only as strong as the people that work there. If you are a one-man riot squad in your company, you are killing your brand slowly. If you are the smartest person as a CEO and everybody's scared of you, you are killing your brand. Create what I call a constellation of stars that are happy walking around you. That's one of the biggest secrets to global. That's my bonus I'll give you at the end of it. You cannot go global when your brand is run between you and 2 or 3 people. You can't play that way. You need to have a broader vision. That way you can play on the global scale and your people, somebody's saying, you guys are very wicked people. The person that's taking it off. Kokana. Okay, my next slide, please. I'm having fun. Okay, now, sorry. Ensure you can develop your now. You see, this is a big problem a lot of brands have. How can you play on a global scale where you cannot do it on a local scale? You don't have no capacity. You create all the awareness, put the websites, create all the social media noise. Meanwhile, the others coming, you are busting at your seams to just deliver. So you need to ensure you can deliver all your promises on the local platform before you can go to the next level. If you cannot meet the demands of the local markets, please stay here. Stay here, expand your capacity, deliver on your promises, keep your customers happy, and ensure that your brand has a positive image, perception locally before you now take that template to expand. You cannot play on the global market if you cannot meet your promise on the local scale. To play on the global, you must be able to meet all your promises. Do not take more than you can chew. Take enough capacity, enough to, and then ensure that when you take that, keep expanding gradually. Never be in a hurry. When you conquer the local market, once you conquer a local market, nobody will tell you it's time to go global. And please take note, global does not mean going to UK, America at the same time. No, you could go to Ghana. Ghana is not Nigeria. You could go to Cote d'Ivoire. You could go to Cote d'Ivoire. We have the whole African market first. Expansion should be gradual and should be phased out. GTCO did not become GTCO in one day. They've been planning this for years, and it's been painstaking. And it took them 3 MDs to get here. It's at the point where they got the 4th managing director that they moved to GTCO. Okay, so once for the time, expansion should be gradual. Companies that succeed in keeping promises to customers often gain a reputation of being reliable and trustworthy. You need to be reliable and trustworthy because don't forget, to expand globally, you need capacity, capital. 2 things you need: reputation capital, financial capital. 2 things: reputation capital, financial capital. Without reputation capital, you cannot raise financial capital, no matter how successful you are. You need to raise reputation capital first, and then you now raise financial. It's your reputation that will make the banks give you the money with which you are going to expand your operations beyond the market. So to play on the global scale, you must deliver. You must deliver on your promises. The moment you start you start reneging on your promises and failing to deliver, you take more than you can deliver, you will start eroding your brand perception. It's called brand erosion. Brand erosion is the beginning of the death of most of the brands across the world. At the point when consumers start wondering, will they deliver? They didn't deliver. Can they deliver? Will they deliver? Your brand erosion has started. It's eroding gradually. It's like an erosion that takes over a road and gradually eats from the gutters, from the seams into the middle of the road. Be careful. Ensure you can deliver on all your promises, or else play on the local market. That's where Mayan said brand capital. Thank you. You got it. Brand capital. Without brand capital, you can't go further. So deliver on your promises. I go to number 7. Aha. Before you can go global, please re-examine your corporate and product brand naming. What is your brand called right now? Is it Mayan and Company, or Me and Company, or Milky, or Here We Go, or Ten and Company? Whatever the name of your brand is, please revisit it again before you go global. Because when your brand is going global, there's some of these names that cannot be assimilated by the foreign market. So if your brand at this point, you created that brand identity by mistake or by default, or maybe you inherited a company that your grandfather set up many years ago, and you've never ever bothered to revisit it. You want to play global, please pause. Look at the name again. Will that name sit well on the lips of an American, or with their corporate affairs over there? Will they accept it? Don't forget, you can easily go and do a search at CAC and find out if that name is still available in all the categories. Do not just jump. You need to first of all be sure that your brand name itself has not been duplicated by somebody else somewhere else and is available in your category. That way you're not just duplicating somebody's effort and then moving that brand to another country where at the end of the day, all the awareness you're going to be creating will become an added value to the other brand already existing in that market. So re-examine your corporate and product brand naming. For instance, if you have a product that looks like Coca-Cola and you name it Biggie and the bottle is the same shape, re-examine it. Because I say at the end of the day, you are creating what I call a pass-off. Because one, the name is not Coca-Cola, but the Coca-Cola is in the same bid rate sub-market. But at the same time, if you notice, most of these brands, they encroach on each other's market. If you guys remember the lager wars many years ago, when what's this brand? Guinness and what's the name? Legend were having the battle. Aha. If it's not Panadol, it's not the same thing as Panadol. That was the battle between Fensic, Panadol, and the other paracetamols. And that was when Emzor saw an opening and came into the market. If you remember the beer wars between Guinness and the Legend, it was a bad lethal battle for that tough. By the end of the day, Legend withdrew and Guinness held its sway. Now, at the end of the day, what has Guinness done? Guinness also created a new category that's softer, not the Guinness that's made of more for men. Now we have the Guinness Smooth. That's the new category for the women and the other men that like it soft. How about the milk wars? There was a time when it was only pig, lost the sight of the future of the market. Cowbell came in. How did pig fight back? Pig went and created 3 crowns to fight cowbell. Ask yourself, where's cowbell today? There will always be wars in every market. You need to also prepare to fight that war. Look at and examine your corporate and product branding. So let's do the corporate. Look at the products. Your product are your brand offerings. Your corporate is the corporate. That's your brand entity, the name, and the corporate, that's the organization. But your product offerings are those offerings that you sell, the intangibles. So you have Nigerian breweries and you have Star. You have Maltina under Nigerian breweries. You have then you have Guinness. Guinness is the brand name of the corporate brand, but under it you have Guinness Stout, you have Guinness, Malta Guinness. So those are the product offerings, while the corporate is different from the product, okay? Combining design thinking with customer interest will ensure that you design a product for the total human. Take note, total human, not just the customer. You are creating a product for the human, total human, not just the customer experience. Total human experience. What do I mean by that? When creating a product or service, don't forget that you're not selling to yourself. You're not selling to yourself. The first step is this. Ask yourself, if you are the consumer, would you buy your own product? If you are the consumer, would you buy your own product? If your answer is yes, you're on the right track. But if your answer is no, go back to the drawing board. But don't forget that you're going to a global market that requires different standards. Re-examine your corporate product branding naming, and then will they fit into the global space? If they won't, call your lawyer and readjust it a bit, standardize it and ensure that it can play on every platform. Don't forget, every platform. That means that if you take that product or that brand to Ghana, will it sell? Will they accept it? You need to have a global, a local attitude, but a global focus. Operate from a local point of view, but have a vision and a focus for the global. That's where you have, at the end of the day, the global feel. I go to the next point now. You guys remind me of my bonus. There are 2 bonus points I want to give you guys. Number 8, understand the global packaging requirements and ensure you meet the standards. Now, the packaging for Nigerian market is a bit different. Because of the humid weather here, our packaging is different. So you want to play on the global scale, understand that you're going to a temperate economy where the weather is a bit different. So your packaging will be totally different. Then don't forget, even if it's intellectual capacity you're selling, if it's only intellectual content you're selling, don't also forget that the way you package your content for this market has to be a bit different from the way you package it for the global markets. Now, why? Because the global market is a bit more finicky. We can get away with a lot of stuff here because some of us will say, now, we. But let me tell you the truth, is that there's no we in the real sense, because what that does is eliminate you from the bigger market in this country. There are people that cannot enter a certain sector, a certain level anymore because they have wasted opportunities based on being careless with their packaging at the initial stage. When you are given an opening into any big market, be careful. That door is either a door that will stay open permanently or become shut permanently. You cannot shut a big door, a big opportunity, and go back and knock again. You're already out of it. It will take you a longer period. So be careful how you package yourself from this point to the next point. Do not decide that, oh, this is local, so I play local first and I go global. The same standard you deploy, you must set a very high standard for yourself from this point so that you can take that same quality 1 notch higher when you want to go global. Are we on the same page here? So at its most base level, product packaging serves to protect the product inside. So your packaging is to protect, but at the same time, don't forget, beyond protecting, there must be what I call appeal. The packaging must be appealing to the eyes. So how do you package your ideas, your write-ups, your content, the packaging, the lettering, the envelope, your letterhead, your call card? when we send any proposal out, before they see us, before they even meet us, they've seen us, they know who we are. So don't forget, invest in your packaging. Whatever you're selling, whether it's ideas, trainings, whatever, make sure that your branding and your packaging is one notch ahead of the market, because that's what they see before they see you. I keep on telling my clients this. Before your clients meet you, they've already seen you through the document and your packaging on all your platforms. Before they even invite you for a meeting, they've asked somebody to research you on social media, the quality of language you're using on social media, if you're involved in frivolous issues. They check you out before they even invite you. Most of these consultants are eliminated at the point of shortlisting, because one or two flips and flops online is difficult to erase. Before you are seen, they've already seen you. So for some of them, just to confirm what they heard, they invite you. And if they want to embarrass you, they will ask you, okay, we noticed one of those days you did this, you did what one. A client of yours said you did this, and they always ask. It's called due diligence. So please protect your brand, protect your product, but the most important thing, no matter what you're selling and at whatever level you are, any document or any content that leaves you and goes to the next party is going out of your hand. Be careful, it must be top notch, one notch higher. So understand the global packaging requirements and ensure you meet the standards. So the only way to ensure you execute this consistently is to start from the local point of view. Where you're operating now, are you one notch higher? When you perfect perfection, perfection perfects you and becomes a glove in your hand, a perfect fit. When you perfect perfection, perfection will perfect you. Next slide, please. Number 9, give your brand identity a second look. Exactly. Can it play? Don't forget, I talked about packaging. Number 8 was packaging. Your brand identity is what you look like, your logo, your colors, your feel, your touch, how you communicate, your languages, your language, your choice of words in your document. Because when that document goes out, it's the first perception. Invest in creating a strong brand that'll get and keep your market's attention. Don't forget that before any client physically sees you, they've seen you through your content on social media, on billboards, or whatever platform you put them out, or even a direct mail shot to your email. They see all this. So please, if you don't take control of your branding, it sends a message that your company, guess what, doesn't care enough to have a personality. Any brand that doesn't have a personality is dead. And then any brand that doesn't have a positive personality is also buried now, not just dead, but buried now. Your list just it's on oxygen. It's just surviving. So you must invest. Okay, Bumi Idimu said dead on arrival. Thank you. Maya said, where you perfect perfection, perfection perfects you. Exactly. Thank you. So invest. Now let me go to the third one. No, branding solves this problem by creating a unique perception of your company. What does branding do? It creates a unique perception. So before they see you, they feel you. So you must invest in what you look like, what you sound like, and what you feel like. It's called 720-degree branding. 720-degree, from the sight to the feel to the voice and the tone. 720-degree branding. Your brand is your CV. Thank you so much, Benedicta Iboye. Thank you. So invest in a strong brand that will get brand investment from me, and thank you. Invest in creating a strong brand that will get and keep your market's attention. Chibuzo says invest in what you look like. Thank you. But don't just invest in what you look like. Invest in what you look like, sound like, feel like, and what you will do. Don't just look, execute. Looks are packaging, but execution is reality. So don't just invest in what you look like. Invest in the processes that make you look good, and ensure that when you open that door, you can also deliver outstanding delivery that will bring new clients and then retain that client. Exactly. QJ Olarigbe said, execution is key. Invest in what you need to be. Thank you so much for your contribution. I love this class. I think FG, I think we should continue to midnight. What do you think? If FG is dead, I think we should just continue to midnight. Let's do part 2. Okay, number 10. Now, this is very critical. I'm having so much fun with these guys. I think we should do part 2. Let's just go to let's go to midnight. I'm available. This is fun. Brenda Vrata said lol. Okay, let me go to number 10 now. I want to do number 10. Now, a lot of us make the mistake of assuming that people will not steal from us. They believe they won't steal. People are not stealing our ideas. Let me tell you, let me warn you. Every idea you churn out, everybody said they're ready. Every idea you churn out, somebody's copying and watching you. Trust me. Every time you churn out an idea and give it to a third party, once one eyeball sees it, it has been duplicated. Somebody else will copy it and go and add something to it and change it again and recycle it again. So be careful. Register all your trademarks and domain names in all the required categories to avoid piracy. We make the mistake. The man that invented pure water is a poor man today. Why? He invented pure water, did not do a trademark. Within 1 year, his own streets, on the street, they're producing pure water. He made a mistake. He didn't trademark pure water. You know, so trademark, register all your trademarks. You can't use the word oxygenation in Nigeria and Africa and the world now. O2-hydration. We've trademarked it in all the categories. So when you use it, our lawyers are waiting to make money from you. Just use the O2-hydration. You're going to be paying to the bank, to our lawyers. So protect your trademarks. Your intellectual assets are some of the most powerful resources your business has. Do not joke with them. Don't forget, your intellectual assets are one of your most powerful resources any business can ever have. Trademarks, copyrights, patents are a method of protecting your intangibles while publicly providing notice to other businesses or individuals to avoid copying you or infringing on intellectual property rights. The moment you take your content out of this country, somebody's going to copy it and then you're on your own. You've invested so much money to go global and you come back poorer. No, that's not your portion. No. So invest in your trademark. If you want to go global, let me reverse this and make this number 1. So number 1 will come to number 10. Before you go global, all your content should be trademarked. Number 1, trademark all your content, intellectual assets, all trademark them. Go to CAC, get a good lawyer, ensure it's in all the categories, not in some, all. We have a lot of criminals. They are intellectual thieves. They are experts in stealing ideas. In fact, there are some people that all they do is sit and wait for your ideas to come. They'll look for where there's no trademark, any category. That's where they see a loophole. They use that loophole to steal. And then before you know what's happening, you are gone. So please register all your, I can't overemphasize this. I can't even overemphasize it enough. Register all your trademarks. It will cost you just a little extra, 200K. You can get a good lawyer, pay as you go. There are lawyers that do pay as you go now. If you're scared of bill, beg the lawyer, take 50K, just work around your content and trademark it. If you have a fantastic idea, I know a lot of you have ideas, please take that document, trademark that idea now and lock it up before you give it to any third party or even an investor. Even investors steal content. The biggest thieves in intellectual property are those you go and give your idea. I need money for investment. So present to me. As you're presenting, they're already duplicating. Don't trust any third party without trademarking. Even you can be tempted to steal for yourself. Take note. Exactly. Okay. Now let me go to my bonus. Then I'll now go to my another bonus again. Develop and communicate a unique message that's relevant to the needs and wants of your global customers. The way you speak to us here is not the same way you're going to speak to anybody in another market. So once you understand that you're speaking to Charles in EFIC, you are speaking, and we know we have our nuances, our lingos. For instance, there's one I heard human, and there's one I say wow. So we have our nuances, our lingua. So the way we speak to ourselves here. So once you do that, you understand this local market, you can take that global template and duplicate it for another market. The way you speak to a man in India is not the same way you're going to speak to a man that lives from India that lives in Nigeria, because he lives amongst Nigerians and is already used to our nuances. So ensure that when you create a strategy on a global scale, which is critical, develop a unique message that's relevant to the needs and wants of your global customers. don't forget, you are talking to us here before, but you're going to play on the global scale. And like I said earlier on, these 11 key points are not for any sector. It cuts across every sector. I had about 60 of them, but I had to cut them down because it would be too cumbersome. I had to bring out the most critical and the most important bullet points that will be most relevant to all of us at the same time across all our sectors. So deliver your messaging in a place and that your customers will be receptive to say. Don't forget, if you are talking to Nigerians in the daytime, there's a time and a platform to deploy. If you're using social media, you should understand how social media works. If it's Instagram, you know the timeline and stuff. You should understand how the Instagram algorithm works. So the same way you understand Instagram and algorithm for Lagos, Ibadan, Kano, the same way you should also understand how other platforms work across the globe. So even if you decide to use only 2-3 platforms, you must understand that you shouldn't waste your time and your energy talking to people that are not listening. So the medium, the timing, and it all starts with your understanding of the demographics, the psychographics. The demographics and psychographics, where they are, how they behave, what they are exposed to, what are the mediums they are exposed to, and then what is the earning power. You shouldn't be selling to people that cannot buy. So your target consumer determines your medium and your platforms. So if you understand the demographics and the psychographics of your consumers, you will understand. Somebody said, I'm just on my knees now. What are you praying about, sir? I'm angry. Are you on punishment? These guys are killing me. They're cracking me up. Okay, so for you to go on that global, that's my bonus. For you to go global, you must understand that you need to understand the psychography, the psychography and demography of your consumers, or else you'll be talking to a man that is in the farm, meanwhile the radio is in the house, and you're wasting your money talking to the wrong people. So focus on understanding the psychographic demographics of your target consumers, and then ensure that your strategy that you deploy is in synergy with their behavioral pattern, so that you are delivering the message bullseye when they are in the mood to receive. Okay, now let me go back again to my final bonus, which is not in this place. Now, my final bonus of bonus is that there are 3 key points. Before you even decide to look at the global market, ask yourself, who are you? Who are you? Who are you talking to? What are you selling? Is there a space in the place? Is there a space in the place? So is there a space in that market for you? So who are you? Who are you selling to? What are you selling? These are critical questions every entrepreneur must ask himself first. So let's play from the beginning as if we have not started. Let's go to Brandy 101. We're not going global yet. Let's just hold on. Let's play in a local government. Let's assume we are in Ojodu local government. Who are you? Why are you in the business you are into? Who are your target consumers? What are you selling? Is there a space in the place? If there is, yes, Temi says brand clarity, exactly. Then go back to your SWOT again. Ask yourself, what are my strengths, my weaknesses, my opportunities, my threats? Write them down. Be very, very, very honest with yourself. Now, this is one of the key areas when I teach my C-suite clients, and this is where the clincher is. Nobody has a permanent weakness. You can write this down. Nobody has a permanent weakness. We all have permanent opportunities. We all have permanent opportunities. Nobody has a permanent strength or weakness. We all have permanent opportunity. We have permanent opportunities and permanent threats. Nobody has a permanent strength or weakness. We have permanent opportunities and permanent threats. So now, how do you do that? When you write your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunity, and your threats down, now sit and ask yourself, for instance, if under your weaknesses, procrastination, postponements, lying, late coming, propensity not to save, greed, or whatever, Once you write it down honestly, once you write down honestly, now let me tell you what you do. Let me give you a case study. Like, let me use myself. If my weakness is procrastination, what I need to do is this. The moment I want to take a decision, rather than postpone it, I pick up that call, I take action immediately. That way, I convert my weakness to my strength. I repeat again. If you identify your weakness, take action immediately and convert that weakness to your strength. So we can all convert our weaknesses to our strengths by being determined to move to the next level, rather than procrastinate every year. Oh, last year I procrastinated. 2 years later I procrastinated. Why languish and cry over spilled milk that's already on the floor? You can only clean it up. You can't lick it up. So an egg that's broken is already broken. You can't patch it up together. It won't work together again. It's gone. So why don't you just clean it up and ensure that you don't break the egg again by ensuring you have a better case that protects the egg. So if you identify your strengths, your weaknesses, your potential, your threats, convert all those your weaknesses immediately to your strengths by taking decisive action. If you're the kind of person that you are too patient with people, they take advantage of you, maybe your mechanics or whatever, cut those people off. First warning, second warning, third warning, bye. Yeah, we have 1 million mechanics across this world. You don't have only one person that can do your job. If you're those kind of people that people are accommodating incompetency, after the first warning, second warning, move on. Create your boundaries. You see, at the end of the day, if you cannot pay your bills, those people will not be there to help you pay your bills. You are in business to stay in business. There's no emotion on the global level. You want to play on the global scale, stay focused, stay relevant, and most of all, be disciplined. Discipline, focus, consistency is the key. Discipline, focus, consistency. Don't forget, as I said again, deliver your messaging in the places your customers are receptive to go through same. So I'll just do a recap now, and then I'll do my final bonus, and I'll say bye-bye for this night. 1, don't ever assume that the market will remain the same. It will always change. The market is always evolving. The market always evolves, keeps on evolving. So one of the key things you must also understand as an entrepreneur is that you must retool. Keep on retooling your knowledge. The knowledge you had yesterday is totally useless and relevant tomorrow. If you're the king of your market yesterday or the queen, there's a prince waiting in the wings to take over from you. Your throne is already threatened. Okay? So retool, retool, and retool. So in summary, number 1, deploy the same position across the brand, don't forget. And then we went all the way to the last one when I talk about looking at the global market from the packaging point of view. And then my bonus was, finally, I asked, who are you? What are your target consumers? What are you selling? No, go back, please. Leave it here, please. What are you selling? Who are your target consumers? And then finally, do not assume that the market will remain the same. You need to keep on consistently retooling. So finally, I will say this as a final quote. The brand is go to the last slide, please. The last slide. The last. No, go back, no. But yes, thank you. Your brand, I will not say the brand. Your brand is your only truly unique and sustainable competitive advantage. Your brand is your only truly unique and sustainable advantage. That's all you have. Treat it as such. So that means you must treat your brand as if it's a living entity. You can kill your brand with your attitude. You can also make it grow with your attitude. It depends on how you want to invest in it. Consistently invest in your competitive advantage. Treat as such. Thank you.